Hello everybody. It's nice for me to be here because as I said, my father, this was his congregation for many years, and Rabbi Malcolm became a rabbi. He was kind of did his internship with my dad, and he knew Rabbi Greg very well, so it's special to be part of the community again after so many years. I want to just share a little bit about the Parshat Shavua, not too long. It's Behaalotecha, and there's a few things happening here, but the two main ones are that Miriam and Aaron talk behind Moshe's back. They talk about his wife, Tzipora. We think it's Tzipora, they say Akushi, which is probably her tribe, which actually denotes someone with dark skin, and it also denotes someone who's beautiful. So they talked about her behind her back, and Miriam got a very serious punishment for that, extremely serious. She got leprosy, which today, thank God, is not such a disease that we've gotten it under control, but up until quite recently, even 100 years ago, was something that was a terrible, disfiguring, scarring disease. So why Miriam, she was a prophet, she was a prophetess, she was a great woman in her own right. When we crossed the sea, she led the women in singing, she saved Moshe, she put him into the Nile. She followed him. She made sure that he was found. This isn't just some, random person. This is someone who is a very high level herself. So why would the punishment be so severe? Now, in the same way that when Moshe hit the rock, his punishment was that he wasn't allowed into Israel. That was his punishment. Now Moshe, because for that little moment he showed a lack of faith in God, he had the most faith in God of any of us. You could argue. He was the highest prophet. So why does the Torah make such a big deal of when he lost his faith for one moment? And why does it make such a big deal of when Miriam spoke Lashon Hara one time? She did so many other good things in her life. And I take it to say that if Miriam gets punished so severely for speaking Lashon Hara, it is just to show us that no matter how high level that we think we've gotten to, no matter how many mitzvot we think we've done, no matter how good people we think we are, anyone who speaks Lashon Hara about someone else it's just something that we really need to avoid. They say when you speak about someone behind their back and you spread something evil about their reputation, you can't take it back. You scatter those crumbs into the sea, they go all over, and it's almost like killing someone because you can destroy someone's reputation. So, yeah, it's something that we all need to take with us. It's a hard one to keep. Everyone likes a little piece of gossip here and there, right? But we need to hold things in confidence. We are allowed, by the way, we are allowed to have a confidant. You are allowed to have a person in your life who, when something happens and you can't comprehend that this has happened to this one person that you know, and you want to just share it, you can have that confidant in your life. That is permitted. But it's the idea of talking about someone behind their back with even not malicious intent, just talking about them behind their back, to people who aren't scrupulous or who you don't know who they are, you don't know how scrupulous they are. We have to be very, very careful with this. So I think it's a lesson for all of us to just take into our week, take into our Shabbat. It's something we have to work on day in and day out, I think. All of us. It's a tough one. And the other thing, the other major thing that happened here was that, so Bnei Israel, they've been taken out of Egypt, they're walking around, They crossed the Red Sea, the sea split open, they saw all the plagues before that, they've seen so many miracles, they're walking around, they're getting manna from heaven. Okay? But of course, they complain. They complain. Can you imagine? Like after everything, yeah, they're Jews, because we're Jews. It's like they've gone through this whole process, and still they're complaining about the food. They want meat. They want to have a braai. What?
They didn't have in Egypt.
Oh, I don't know. Did they have meat in Egypt?
Well, I thought they did, but I doubt they did.
I don't know. They might have had. I don't know. I'd have to check that. They might have had their own cattle, and sometimes, occasionally, had meat. But they were very poor. Of course, they were slaves. So, again, this is something that we can take into our lives. Gratefulness. Gratefulness is a muscle. It is a muscle that we. I mean, I strive to work on it daily. Sometimes I miss a day, but I try when I put my children to bed at night. Let's think of something that we're grateful for. You know, focusing on the good in our lives. It can be such simple things, okay? So I'm going to teach you a little song about it, and then I'll call you up for the announcement. So it goes like this. Thank you for this food, Lord. Thank you for my home. Thank you for my children. Thank you for it all. Thank you for this food, Lord. Thank you for my home. Thank you for my children. Thank you for it all. Thank you for the winter. Thank you for the spring. Thank you for the autumn that changes everything. Thank you for the darkness. Thank you for the light. Thank you for the day, and thank you for the night. Thank you for the darkness. Thank you for the light. Thank you for the day, and thank you for the night. Thank you for this food, Lord. Thank you for my home. Thank you for my children. Thank you for it all. I think gratefulness, if we focus on, having a home, having food, these are things that not everyone has. Sadly, in our world, especially in this country, but in other countries too. And so I think if we take that from the Parshat, when we're getting manna, we have to recognize that it's manna. We have to see it, not complain. And it's so easy to complain. And I talk about this all the time with my children, all the time. What can we see in our day that we can be grateful for? So I bless you to take those two concepts into your Shabbat and into your week. Concept of trying our best to not talk about people behind their backs. And if we really must, because we have something that we really need to process that disturbs us about something that we heard, having that one confidant in our lives that we know it doesn't go further than that. And the second one is just taking that gratefulness through our day, noticing all the little things, and it'll make us happier people, So, yeah. Shabbat Shalom. I bless you with those two lessons from this parasha.